Hello people, another beautiful day. Yep, hope your five senses work, health and strength is good. What? What's up, gamers? Alright, let me get to this article here, because I missed out on this one. It's talking about the Activision Blizzard situation again. Listen to this. Sony Jim Ryan calls Call of Duty Downgrade would irreparably harm PlayStation. That statement is false. Okay, anyway, not unless the PlayStation fans got something to say about it. But anyway, says Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO Jim Ryan claimed that PlayStation would never recover if Microsoft released a downgraded Call of Duty on PlayStation. Not true. Says here, a low quality of Call of Duty games would ruin the PlayStation business. Sony Jim Ryan told UK regulators at the Competition and Market Authority. Says here, the CMA recently filed an amended version of its provisionary findings report, and the new revision made some waves. The new report states that the UK regulators no longer believe Microsoft has incentive or ability to withhold mega hit like Call of Duty from PlayStation. The CMA has determined the downsides of losing out on PlayStation revenue is just too high. Sony legal counsel opposed the CMA new provisionary findings and has identified and explained 4 key errors with the CMA data model that was used to make the agency determination. Another major point that Sony counsel continues to make is the possibility that Microsoft will downgrade Call of Duty on PlayStation and release an inferior product for Sony rival platform, thereby triggering partial foreclosure strategies that attempt to sabotage the game performance on PlayStation console. This is the second time that Sony has mentioned this particularly nefarious strategy. The only reason why Sony is saying that is because they don't have control over Call of Duty. Anyway, says here, Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO Jim Ryan take things even further, arguing that an inferior version of Call of Duty on PlayStation would permanently damage the game business. That statement is false. Says here, any degradation in the price, performance, or quality of play on PlayStation or any delays on release would quickly harm SIE reputation and cause a loss of engagement and of players. As SIE CEO Jim Ryan explained to the CMA at the remedy hearing, if PlayStation received the degraded version of Call of Duty, it will seriously damage our reputation. Our gamers would desert our platforms in drove, and network effects would exacerbate the problem. Our business would never recover. That statement is false. He's just mad because he doesn't have control over Call of Duty. Anyway, this appears to ignore the enormous reputational harm that Microsoft would suffer in the process of undercutting its rival with a lower and end version of the same game. It's true that Xbox Series X is theoretically more powerful than the PlayStation 5, but besides smaller specs difference and haptic feedback integration, the two platforms are largely the same insofar as capabilities. It's true that the two platforms have quite different SDK software development system, with the PlayStation 5 using a forked version of Linux and the Xbox Series X console using Windows OS. But ultimately, developers like Activision have found fantastic common ground between the two systems and have created multiple games that attempt to flex the power of each. It says, it is highly unlikely that Microsoft would purposefully downgrade or sabotage a game to make it run worse on PlayStation in an attempt to get people to switch to Xbox, especially considering Xbox is no longer a console platform and more of an ecosystem of service and content that span multiple platforms. Xbox is on PC, console, and even mobile phones, TV through its game stream and subscription. And anything else? Anything else? That's it. Jim Ryan is just saying that because he doesn't have the control that he had over he doesn't have the control that he had with Call of Duty. Once Microsoft saw that nobody owns Activision Blizzard, and they saw that Sony the contract with Call of Duty was going to expire, Microsoft swooped in, and when the whole situation started, Sony, meaning Jim Ryan, should have called Activision Blizzard and be like, "What's happening with you guys? Anything we can do? Can we help? Anything we can assist you with?" They should have done that, but they didn't. So nor did Nintendo even made a move. So, and this goes to show you, you would think that the game industry is like a family, so to speak, but it's more of like a business. So it's like every man for themselves. So Sony didn't show no sign of interest. Especially they got a 30-year relationship with Activision Blizzard. So they should have been the first one over there to be like, "Look, what can we help you with? Anything we can do?" They didn't do anything. So once Microsoft saw that nobody has control over over Activision Blizzard, one, they were going through problems, and two, Sony and Nintendo didn't even step in. And then they saw that Sony Call of Duty contract was about to expire. Phil Spencer was like, "Okay, we gotta seize this." Phil Spencer just went back to the heads at Microsoft and like, "Look, we need to jump on this now. What y'all think?" Okay. Heads at Microsoft looking at each other like, "Okay, should we help them? Should we care? I mean, yeah, we got Game Pass up, but is Activision Blizzard any of our business? Should we even care? Should we show them love, sympathy, compassion? Should we help them? Okay, go. Take 68.9 billion with you." Snatched them. So by the time Sony realized, Jim Ryan just realized what happened, run to the CMA, FTC jump in. Phil Spencer said months ago, Sony and Nintendo is not our competitors, or better yet, he made another statement where he said, it's not what Activision Blizzard can do for us, it's how Microsoft can help Activision Blizzard. So they seized it. So Sony should have been the first one jumping in, and get up off their morals and spend some money. They should have been the first one to fork out some money, and try to get Activision Blizzard, but they didn't. And once Microsoft saw that, Microsoft was like, "Okay," and beat everybody to the punch. Activision Blizzard is really up for grabs, so anybody could have gotten them. Anybody with big pockets, Google, Amazon, Tencent, Take-Two, anybody, what I'm saying? So Microsoft beat everybody to the punch with this. Nvidia got money. They could have gotten Activision Blizzard. Okay, so Activision Blizzard was having internal issues. They were wounded, and they were up for grabs. So, like they say on Call of Duty, first come, first serve. Snatched it. So yeah. But this notion that Call of Duty is going to harm, that Microsoft is going to sabotage Call of Duty, it's a bunch of nonsense. They didn't do it. They didn't do it when they purchased Minecraft. They didn't do it with Mahjong. So why would you expect them to do it with Call of Duty? So yeah, Microsoft just beat everybody to the punch with this, And once this thing all started too, it was just the shareholders, the employees, 75% of the public, and then you had Serbia, Chile, Saudi Arabia, and Brazil. Those were the 4 countries. But now you got other countries now. So you got the Ukraine, you got Japan, and now you got South Africa jumping in. So yeah, Sony should have jumped at this, So Microsoft just beat everybody to the punch with this, man. So they're just mad that they don't have the power that they once had. They don't have the power that they once had. So yeah, but that's the nature of the business, If you're a console manufacturer, you're supposed to check. You pay attention to your console business. That's true, but you're also supposed to be looking out to see what's going on with other studios and see what they're up to, So Sony should have been the first one jumping at this, but they didn't. So the price to be paid, man. So yeah, Microsoft. Microsoft seized it, and now you know, the CMA didn't think they didn't find an issue with the deal. They're more concerned about cloud gaming, and the FTC right now, they're trying to build a case when they don't have one. So yeah, Sony is just mad right now. They don't have a they don't have the the control that they once had. So yeah, Microsoft saw a bad situation and made it good. You know, they could have went about their own way, but it's Activision Blizzard we're talking about here. You know, Activision Blizzard, they made good games. Call of Duty, the reason why Call of Duty got so successful, they were consistent year in and year out. So now Call of Duty breaks into two. You got Warzone, that's a battle royale, and then you got a new Call of Duty every year. So what Activision Blizzard do is, whenever they release a new Call of Duty, they throw both games at you, Warzone and a new Call of Duty. So yeah, Call of Duty is like a two-headed monster. So yeah, but Jim Ryan is just mad that Microsoft beat them to the punch with this. That's all this comes down to. So yeah. I mean, right now we're in the month of what? April. So, April, May, June. You know, this case takes its toll on everyone. You know, so that's involved. You know, so yeah, it's an endurance game right now. So yeah, you know, the Activision is not backing down from the FTC. They're going all in with this, and yeah. But the good thing about this, you know, Microsoft got support. Got a support system behind them. Got a support system with them, not behind them, but with them to support them on this. You know, so yeah, and it's not. They're not in this case by themselves. You know, so yeah. Sony's just mad that that Microsoft purchased Activision Blizzard before they did. If Sony would have purchased Activision Blizzard, it would have been a huge blow to Xbox. But Microsoft beat them to it. So yeah, Activision Blizzard was just up for grabs. Anybody could have purchased them. So yeah, and you know, it's what Microsoft is doing. I mean, it's good. It's good. You know, so yeah. You know, so the PlayStation user base is big. You know, it's big. It's a big user base. You know, they're not being hurt by this. You know, it's just that Microsoft beat them to the punch with this. You know, so Sony. I mean, their user base is big, so Microsoft can't keep Call of Duty to themselves, but they can make sure, you know, they make sure the PlayStation fans have Call of Duty on their console. So yeah, it's just that Microsoft just swooped in. You know, Sony, Phil Spencer said, Sony and Nintendo is not our competitors. Okay, you look down that road. Okay, see who all the competitors were. I mean, Phil Spencer looked down that road, seen who the competitors were, and they built Game Pass, man, because of ZeniMax Bethesda. You know, took him 3 years to complete that deal with ZeniMax Bethesda. 3 years, 7.5 billion, and Game Pass is on the map. So now, you know, Activision Blizzard just popped up on the radar. Like, really? Activision Blizzard? They got a problem? Oh, y'all don't step in? Y'all don't care? Okay, we'll step in. Microsoft did they think? So yeah. So, you know, that's the story right now. So, but right now this case is about endurance. You know, it's an endurance game. It's an endurance game right now. So I'll keep you guys posted on whatever is going on with this case. But anyway, leave this video for y'all to enjoy. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still Star Wars and Star Trek fan. Dark Side.